So, good day everyone. This report is about the global migration. So, a physical and human geography na develop. So, the world is becoming connected of nation, ethnicities, and state is a new trend in the international arena. So, ang civilization, nahimo na siya og global civilization. When we say global, it about world. Tanan na siya. All of the nation, or all, tanan. Global civilization. So, through the rising global civilization, the world has turned into multipolar power. So, tungod sa nataas ato ang global civilization, ang atong world is nahimo na siya og multipolar power. So, in the world of Samuel Huntington, he argue. So, ang nag-argue ani is si Samuel Huntington. So, nakoy some example ninyo, nakoy some video na ipakita para maka baloon say buot pasabot ni Samuel Huntington.
Cat analysis of Samuel Huntington's The Clash of Civilizations. Culture and ideology shape our relationships. Both define who we choose to associate with. But which has more influence? Cultural factors such as language, customs, and societal rules, or ideological ones such as politics or philosophy? In 1996, Samuel Huntington published The Clash of Civilizations, in which he theorized that cultural differences between civilizations, rather than ideological differences, would be the primary source of future global conflict. Let's create a clash between two stereotypical high schools. It's lunchtime at City Academy. The football team eats with the cheerleaders. The nerds are playing cards, the popular kids are playing guitar, and the art club are reading poetry to each other. These different groups aren't mixing, and they aren't really keen to either. The social groups stick together based on aspects of themselves they believe to be fundamental, personal, and defining. Civilizations share history, religion, language, and other important cultural touchstones. There is an easily identifiable us and them, both in global politics and in the lunchroom. School's out, and the cliques from City Academy are mixing easily with the cliques from Hill High School across the road. The football teams play a match, the nerds compare math notes, the guitar circle has doubled in size, and the art club have formed a poetry group. This is the natural order of things, until the parade comes to town. There's a competition for the best float, and both schools want to win. Next day, the lunch tables at both schools look very different. The different groups are sitting around the same table, having put aside their cultural differences to work as a team. The art club are in charge of painting, the nerds are programming the float's lights, the cheerleaders are planning outfits, and the popular kids have recorded a song. The contest has changed the basis of association and antagonism. They have become allies against a collective adversary, the school across the street. Parade day comes, and City Academy takes home the prize. Days later, having put aside their cultural differences to support an ideological cause, they're back to their old ways. In the case of international conflict, Huntington believed the same thing happens. Countries pull together and cooperate when fighting for a shared ideology, for instance in times of war. But Huntington believed that cultural differences are more pervasive than ideology. He thought that cultural separations persist, and therefore these differences will be a perpetual source of recurring conflict. He applies this theory to the alliances and antagonisms that were formed during and after the Cold War, and in doing so, raises some controversial questions about the driver of conflict.
The rivalry of the superpower is replaced by the class of civilization. So, in this new world, the most pervasive, important, and dangerous conflict will not be between the social class, rich or poor, or other economically defined group, but between people belonging to different cultural identities. So, cultural conflict, not economic. Traditionally, so daghang conflict have been framed as a struggle between sa tong social class, like the rich versus the poor, or between the different economic interests. However, ang cultural difference such as language, language na to, ang atong religion, mga tradition, and values will become the primary source of tension and conflict in the future. So, ang pasabot sa sa cultural entities, mo na siya, ang word ani kay, but between peoples belonging to different cultural entities. So, ang pasabot nila ani kay, group of people who share, distinct culture. This could be defined by nationality, yung religion, ethnicity, or other markers of identity. For example, conflict could arise between people of different religion, like Muslim and Christian. So, example, ang mga Muslim. So, lahi-lahi ba ang tunuuhan, lahi-lahi po ang mga sa Christian, lahi-lahi po nila. So, matawag na nato siya o mga cultural, mga conflict. So, or nationalities, po, like tension between Western and Eastern culture. So, kana siya is, dangerous conflict. Like cultural difference. Ang cultural difference kay can be powerful and deeply rooted, leading to intense pride. Itong pride, diba? Why magpaubos? Kung why magpaubos, kanang gusto siyang pataas. So, makakos na siya og conflict. Defensiveness or hostility. When this group perceive their culture, way of life or value to the under threat. So, the result of conflict can be especially dangerous because it is often seen to existential for fundamental to their identity. So, ang ganin siya, ang pasabot ani, kanina statement, is na predicting that the future of global conflict daw will be less about sa tong economic inequality. So, tag inequality, wala siya equal, dili equal ang pagtrato. And more about clashes between culture with could pose significant risks to peace and stability. So, mauni siya ang meaning ani. So, ang ani is nasad ko sa video na i-present sa inyo. So, tawag ana is migration. Kay move from one place to another. Example, kanina pamilya or pamilya mi, then kanina lugar is wala na trabaho akong mga parents. Then kay nangita man sila og kanang sapat or sustainable na pangitaan na trabaho or dali na makuha kwarta pagkaon. So nag-migrate mi, so nibalhin mi sa isa ka lugar na dali ra. So kay makatrabaho man siya dito si papa or si mama, akong parents makatrabaho dito sa isa ka lugar. So pati kami nag-migrate kay tungod naman may mga dito hanap buhay, makasustain man ang mga family. So makasustain siya di nag-migrate mi sa isa ka lugar kay na dito yung trabaho. Matawag na siya og migration. So first ani diri kay economic stability mao na siya. So democratic freedom. So example, sa isa ka lugar is gubot na siya na lugar. Like kanina Philippines. Nasa dito sa pikas na bansa is gubot. So gusto sila og freedom. So tungod sa Philippines is naman siya democratic ang Philippines and freedom. So mao to nag-migrate siya kay di siya gusto gubot. So ni-migrate siya tungod kay gusto siya peace dira. So mystically good life their home countries might not be able to offer. Mao na siya ang tawag na migration. Na ni-move siya to one place para maka ni-move. Mao na to.